So the 40th anniversary of Super Mario has come and gone, and now I have a very serious question. Was this anniversary overhyped? Now honestly, I'm gonna say the flat answer, probably not. But if we take a look back 5 years ago, you can see the 35th anniversary brought a whole lot of goodies. Now, were they all released in 2020? Of course not. But there was a majority of these releases that released in 2020. Like Super Mario 35. Now this was the 35 player battle royale that was only there for a certain amount of time, about 6 months, which was really sad, and I was hoping that we can see it return for the 40th anniversary of Mario. We also got Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which included Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and also Mario Galaxy. But now you don't have to worry about this collection that you can't get anymore, because Super Mario Galaxy is going to be making its way to Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch 1. Not only the first game, but also the second game for the 40th anniversary of Mario. And the one game that we are missing is Mario Sunshine, which is most likely going to be on the Nintendo GameCube. So that's all covered. You can just say that the Super Mario 35th collection, or the 3D All-Stars collection, was just like, well, Nintendo has completely replaced it. But not only that, for the 35th anniversary of Mario, we also got Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Paper Mario the Origami King, and also Mario Kart Live Home Circus, which is a very cool game that you can just drive your little RC car around the place. We also got a limited edition gaming watch, which made you ask the question, okay, what happened to the limited edition gaming watch? Maybe could we be seeing a Nintendo DS? Now we could have probably seen the Nintendo DS that could have added 2D Mario, but Nintendo just didn't do something like that. And we can't forget about Nintendo Switch Online. Now, we definitely didn't see anything regarding Nintendo Switch Online this time around, but I think it will be coming soon at some point. So overall, it's something very, very interesting, and I don't think that the 40th anniversary of Mario was just brushed off and said, that wasn't a very good anniversary, Nintendo. Because honestly, I think that it was a pretty good anniversary. We got games that are going to be running perfectly fine on Nintendo Switch 2. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are going to look amazing on Switch 2. And if you haven't upgraded to Nintendo Switch 2, that's fine. You can still enjoy those games on Nintendo Switch 1. It's completely your way to play, and that is perfectly okay. But in terms of Super Mario 35, we definitely could have seen Super Mario 40 at some point. The Battle Royale game that we definitely always wanted at some point. Or a game that you wanted to stay forever, like Tetris 99. That is a perfect example of a game that could have stayed for a long period of time. But overall, it's just something very, very interesting. I don't think that the 40th anniversary of Mario was a letdown. We definitely got a bunch of games, but for the actual year that the anniversary is taking place on, we definitely got a bunch more games that are going to be releasing the following year. The only one game that is going to be releasing is Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which might be a little bit of a bummer. And the one thing that I had my big head scratching was the amiibo. Why in the world are these amiibos released 6 months after the game comes out? That is something like Nintendo easily could have released this for the 40th anniversary. You say, hey, we got amiibos for the 40th anniversary of Mario, so like, woohoo. So overall, it's just something that, hey, maybe the 40th anniversary, in your opinion, was a little bit brushed off, a little bit brushed to the side. Nintendo just didn't care as much as the 40th anniversary. Or maybe Nintendo didn't care as much as the 35th anniversary. But I don't think it's any of that. I just think that there's a lot of games that Nintendo is trying to push out. Metroid Prime 4, Kirby Air Riders, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and even more games for 2026. So they definitely could have just mushed them all into 1 year, because that would have been a total chaotic mess for Nintendo. But I think next year could definitely change the way that we see Mario. We're going to be seeing a lot of different games. Maybe DLC for Mario Kart World. And that's one thing that definitely could have happened and probably should have happened. DLC for Mario Kart World. Things that would add extra tracks, extra characters, or maybe extra ways that you can play the game. Because I don't know. Seeing Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC is a little bit of a misstep in a way. Now, Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC is really cool, but they definitely could have used the time for that to make Mario Kart World DLC. To make that game, hey, this is your 35th or this is your 40th anniversary game, so have fun, join us as we play around with it. We haven't really seen any of that. We could have seen Nintendo Switch Online style of games, like Mario Kart Double Dash or Super Smash Bros. Melee, but we didn't see any of that stuff. But we did get Virtual Boy, however, but that releases all the way back in 2026. So you really gotta ask yourself, it's really funny how we're not seeing Nintendo Switch Online stuff that could have easily been released for the 40th anniversary of Mario. But overall, so it's just something that you just gotta ask yourself. Okay, so are these the games that I'm willing to play? Or are these games that I'm willing to play? Do I think that I like better Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, maybe Mario 35 and all of those games? Or am I more into movies and upcoming new games that are going to be releasing in 2026? These are two separate anniversaries. One was placed in the middle of a pandemic where you really needed toys and things to stay at home and enjoy yourself. Others is like, okay, we're going to take a bit more development time to release it next year because not a lot of people are as bored as they were in 2020. 2020 didn't see a lot of game releases, and that's probably why we saw Mario 35 and a whole bunch of other games. So now that all of this is all cleared up out of the water, we're moving on to seeing more bigger game releases. And maybe you're not the biggest fan of Yoshi or the biggest fan of Mario Tennis at some point, but you gotta admit, these are brand new games. Instead of seeing more remakes, more remixes, we're seeing newer games. Maybe you're not the biggest fan. Maybe you wanted to see new Super Mario Bros. You're asking yourself this the entire time. Nintendo, come on, bring me new Super Mario Bros. Please, I need it so bad. I need to play new Super Mario Bros. Wii. I need to play new Super Mario Bros. 2. I want to see the original new Super Mario Bros. Come on, Nintendo, please. And they never showed up with it. That is a little bit sad, but hopefully we can see it sometime soon. We can see it hopefully sometime soon. Please, Nintendo. But overall, it's just something. You just look at these two dates and you're like, okay, so yeah, I agree. Okay, so 2020, we had no games. We were stuck indoors, and Nintendo, you use this time, instead of making all the energy into making brand new games, we're gonna re-release this game. Okay, there you go. And even 5 years ago, I could probably say that they definitely could have released even more games. Like more remakes, more remixes. Just put the entire thing on Virtual Console and say, hey, you can get all of these games. Mario 3D Land, Left in the Shadows. So hopefully we see that game return. We could have even seen the 3D Mario collection, but instead we went the opposite route with Mario Galaxy 1 and Mario Galaxy 2 for the Mario Galaxy movie, and maybe after the Mario Galaxy movie, we're going to be seeing Super Mario Galaxy 3, because hey, it looks like they're going back to the Galaxy formula. Instead of moving closer to what Odyssey gave you, they're going a little bit step backwards into what Galaxy gave you. So overall, this is very, very exciting. So my final theories. I don't think that the 40th anniversary of Mario was completely forgot about, completely waste. It wasn't as good as the 35th anniversary. Nope, I think that they're both equal in their own way. Because you gotta look at, when was the year that the 35th anniversary took place? When was the year that the 40th anniversary took place? Look even farther back, 10 years ago. When was the year that the 30th anniversary of Super Mario took place? These are all very different because, and even if you took a look 10 years ago, we didn't even see that many things. It was only 2020 because everyone was stuck indoors. 10 years ago, we got Super Mario Maker Wii U and 3DS, and we also got new special amiibo figures for that, a Nintendo Direct presentation, which was on the September 12th and stuff, and we also got a 30th anniversary festival. So, if we look at that, I think 2025 was a pretty good year for Super Mario. We got a lot of games, we got a whole bunch of things. Maybe it's not the biggest thing, like 3D Mario, which is probably going to go on 10 years before we see another one. But hey, It's something that you just gotta look after and you're like, okay, so this is pretty cool. I'm not complaining. We're seeing games that we really want to see. Mario Galaxy 2 was definitely a big topic, and now that we're seeing it, hey, that is fantastic. I'm really excited to see it. The only thing that I'm disappointed about is why in the world is the amiibo so far behind? Like, it's like, what in the world? Why do you have to wait so many months until you can play with your Mario Galaxy amiibo? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Anyways, what do you think about this? Thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you agree with me that the 40th anniversary of Mario definitely wasn't a bad one. And with that being said, see you in the next one.